This is Daria Shabbat with Corporate Profile reporting on the news for Wednesday, March 20th, 2013. Today we have a special report for you on the situation in Cyprus. So let's talk about what is happening in Cyprus. You must have seen it trending on Twitter by now and have probably looked it up on the map already, but if not, here it is. So basically, Cyprus went down the drain financially because it was holding a lot of Greek government bonds, and by now we all know what happened to Greece. So now Cyprus, a little island with less than 2 million inhabitants, needs a $13 billion bailout. As this is the Eurozone's fifth bailout, you can imagine Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel's wheels are reeling. And so on March the 16th, Euro finance ministers agreed to force Cypriot banks' depositors to share the cost of rescuing the tiny country. Cyprus would get the $13 billion bailout under one condition: if it could raise 5.8 billion euros through a one-off tax on bank savings. The initial plan was altered on Tuesday to exempt savers with less than 20,000 euros, but a 6.75% charge on deposits of 20,000 to 100,000 euros and a 9.9% charge for those above 100,000 euros was to be implemented. Using this controversial method, Cyprus was expected to raise the 5.8 billion euros as mentioned. So imagine for a second you have your savings at your Chase account and suddenly the US president says that almost 10% of your hard-earned cash is now in the possession of the government. We would all run to the bank to get our money out, wouldn't we? Well, that's exactly what Cypriots were trying to do. But now imagine the banks are closed, as is currently the case in Cyprus, while the government keeps arguing about what to do with your savings. In the meantime, cash machines stop working and you're slowly running out of money to eat. Scary, right? You might be wondering, why would Euro finance ministers target a little island like Cyprus in such a, let's say, rude way? Well, one of the explanations is probably because Cyprus is a very popular destination for Russian money. Through lower tax rates, Cyprus has attracted a total of $30 billion in Russian private and corporate deposits. That's a third of all Cypriot deposits. So basically, Cyprus accumulated tons of investment through lower tax rates and now suddenly needs a bailout. So in a way, the solution that the EU finance ministers proposed is to, in a one-time deal, reverse the lower tax rates on Russian money and buy itself out of the misery Greece did upon them, instead of making hardworking and law-abiding Germans pay for their lazy and greedy neighbors' sins. Of course, Russian President Putin comes to the rescue of his citizens' offshore accounts. He calls the proposed one-time levy on Cypriot banks unfair, unprofessional, and dangerous. He kind of has a point, but desperate times require desperate measures. And why not make rich Russians pay for once, just for fun and to satisfy German Schadenfreude? Look that word up, guys. It's really cool and doesn't exist in any other language but German. Cyprus rejected the bailout conditions and is now in Russia to strike a deal over there because guess what? Cyprus desperately needs the bailout, otherwise it will go bankrupt. To sum it up, the question is, can Putin save his citizens' money, and will the EU be able to buffer the repercussions of a Cyprus bankruptcy? The silver lining on this EU disaster horizon is that historically, the EU has a tradition of pressing smaller countries to vote again and again until they achieve the desired outcome. All right, guys, I hope I was able to clarify some of your questions, and please do post your comments. We want to know what your thoughts are. I'm Daria Shabbat with Corporate Profile. Make sure to visit our website at corporateprofile.com for more top stories from around the world, as well as interesting business profiles. Post your comments, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.